what's going on everybody? This is Alvi from Techitron, and this is the Walton Passion laptop. Now hang on for a second. Didn't I tease this laptop about, I don't know, 3-4 months ago? Well yeah, that's kind of the truth. I've been a little busy, and what I mean busy is I've been using this laptop non-stop for about the past 4 months. So just to give you a disclaimer, this is my own laptop. I spent my very own money to get this, and it's been a workhorse, and it's really the reason why I haven't been able to push out the review. But I would say better late than never, so let's not delay any further and talk about it. But before I do that, remember, if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe, and definitely leave a comment in the comment section below. I read through every single one of those, so if you have any question, I will get back to you. Also find me on my social media. I've left the links in the description below. Dropped a snap code somewhere. I do some interesting things, and if you want to follow that, you can check me out over there. I'll start off with the design. This entire thing is made completely of plastic and has a fake metal finish, but on the bright side, this thing actually feels pretty good in the hand and doesn't leave any fingerprints because of this nice rough matte-ish finish over here. Now I put this thing through a lot of punishment, and really, I mean, I kind of feel bad about how mean I have been to this laptop, and the good thing is it survived all the things that I've put it through, and it's only taken a couple scratches. So I've been using this laptop really roughly. I've just dropped it in my bag, throw it on the desk, throw it on my bed, and so far this thing has held up pretty well. The laptop is a bit heavy and weighs 2.5 kilograms. But come on, you weren't expecting this to be an Ultrabook, were you? So if you have a real big deal problem with carrying a big fat laptop in your backpack, this might be an issue, but for me, I mean, come on, I mean, it's just 2.5 kilograms. It wasn't really a big deal for me. Furthermore, even though the build is very solid, something that annoyed me quite a lot is the hinge. So whenever I'd switch on the fan, I'd see this thing start to, very slightly wobble, and I mean, it never really bothered me to any point that it destroyed my productivity, but it just kind of annoyed me and just irked me. It was like wobbling all over the place. To me, one of the most important aspects of a laptop is the keyboard, because if you're interacting with the laptop, that's the component you'll use the most. And fortunately for this laptop, the keyboard has been very much beyond expectations. Now I should clear one thing out, this isn't a backlit keyboard, but at this price point, you'll be very hard pressed to find a laptop with a backlit keyboard. I think there aren't any laptops, especially in Bangladesh, at this price, brand new with a backlit keyboard. So that's a little sacrifice you're gonna have to make, but for me personally, I think it was okay. Furthermore, the keys have a good amount of travel. They don't really sound too clicky, so it's not gonna annoy anybody sitting next to you at a cafeteria or something like that. And the best thing is that the keys are evenly spaced. So whenever I was typing, I didn't have any issues at all, and neither did the other people who I tested this laptop out with. On the other end of the spectrum, the touchpad isn't very good. And this is a problem that I've seen reoccur again and again on budget Windows laptops. The touchpad, the trackpad, whatever you want to call it, is just not very good. It's doing an okay job with just tracking the mouse, but if it comes to two-finger scrolling or any gestures, this is a no-go, alright? Get a mouse, it'll help you out a lot, you'll feel a lot better. But again, at the end of the day, it's not something I can complain about. The price point doesn't allow for great trackpads on Windows machines. Let's talk about the display. It measures about 14 inches across and has a sort of HD resolution. But I'll be honest with you, it's not something that's gonna attract you. It's not an excellent or a very attractive display, and to be honest, the viewing angles really need some improvement. Now, I did discover a couple sweet spots when you tilted it to a particular angle and had the brightness at about 50 to 60%. But other than that, I found colors shifting quite a lot whenever you tilted the display of the off angle, and I think you can see that quite clearly right now when I tilt this a little bit like this. But aside from that, looking at the price point, and again, you'll see me here and talk about the price point over and over again, this is kind of what you're gonna expect and get out of the money that you're gonna spend. Something else that I do want to talk about with the display are the speakers. They're located on the bottom on each side of here, and they don't really sound very good. You're gonna need headphones if you really want to listen to any form of media, whether it be music or just watching plain videos. You will need headphones unless the room is like as quiet as it is right now. Yeah. In terms of I/O, I'll have to give Walton a pat on the back because they've literally included virtually everything you can ask for. So on one side you got two USB 3.0 ports, the VGA port, as well as an Ethernet port. And on the other side you have a USB 2.0 port, a headphone in and a mic out port, and even a DVD drive. So this thing comes packed with legacy ports, and I really have to commend Walton for that, because if you're living in Bangladesh, if you want to use this laptop, USB 3.0 or USB-C really isn't a viable option. Everything here more or less runs on old tech, and you need everything to be backwards compatible with your current laptop. So in that scenario, I think this is a really good option. Before I get into performance, I want to remind you, this is a budget laptop and is not made for gaming. Trust me, I have tried. It just doesn't really work well with any modern titles. You're gonna need to go back to titles that are 3 or 4 years old or very low demanding titles if you want to be able to play any games on this. But in terms of specifications, we have a 6th gen Intel Core i3 processor clocked at 3.6 GHz along with 4 GB of RAM and a 500 GB hard disk drive. Now there's also an extra SODIMM slot, so if down the line you want to expand the memory, you can take this laptop apart and add some more RAM onto it. So hit the thumbs up button if you want to see me do that in a future review, because I kind of want a little bit more RAM on this machine. The Passion is well equipped to handle your everyday average workload, if I must say. So I'm talking about great job with word processing, pushing out presentations, Excel, and even some minor video editing on amateur software. Now don't import 4K footage, this thing is not gonna handle that, but 720p or 1080p, this can actually push out some pretty good editing horsepower if you just try it. If you do want to play some games though, I'll give you a little bit of a tip. Try looking for Remix OS. It's a third-party Android type of thing that you can put onto your Windows computer. And what I did is I kind of forked that onto this machine and played some rudimentary Android titles just for the fun of it. And you can dual boot Windows and that separate operating system. So maybe that's a video for another day, but if you really do want to play games, that's something that you could try out. The battery life on this is kind of a mixed bag, and it completely depends on what you're doing, what level your brightness is, and so on and so forth. So on some days I'd get 5 or 6 hours of use if I'm just only typing out articles or documents, but on other days if I'm trying to edit a video, this thing's gonna die within like 2.5 or 3 hours. So do keep that in mind. Another thing I want to mention is that even though the display is 720p, there have been more than one occasion where I hooked this to this monitor in the background and I've run a dual screen layout. So I'd have some work on this side and some work on that computer screen over there. And this laptop actually performed really well, and I'm quite surprised I was able to handle this workload. On the website, it says that the laptop ships with Microsoft DOS and comes with Windows 10 Genuine on request. But when I got this, I got Genuine Windows 10. So be sure you check that and confirm what you're getting when you purchase this laptop. When I bought this machine back in October of 2016, October 7th to be precise, it cost me 29,990 taka, and I checked the website just now and it's still the same price. So should you buy this laptop? I'll get the easy part out. Yes. Why did I spend my own money behind this machine? Now that's the real question. See, I've got a decent desktop over here, but I needed something that was portable that could also handle my mobile workload, and I really didn't have a laptop. So I looked into the market, I did a bit of research, and at the time, this was the best option available for the price. So specifications wise, you're getting much better internals as well as a better CPU than the competition has available. And overall, I think the build quality, the keyboard, the things that matter in a laptop for work, those were all done pretty well over here. Furthermore, I think this is an excellent option for students who are on a budget but also need a laptop to kind of push them into more creative things such as minor video editing, something that I was able to pull off over here, as well as split screen work, which again I was surprisingly able to do. So there are some drawbacks to this laptop. I'm not gonna say it's absolutely perfect, but all in all, I think it's worked out exceptionally well for me, and honestly speaking, I didn't expect this laptop to keep up with my pace the way it did. Now I know a lot of you are gonna ask this question: is this laptop a worthy investment for the long run? Well, I invested my money on it, I will be owning this for the foreseeable future. So if you have any questions about longevity or whatever, just drop them in the comment section below, and I'll even do an update video if you guys want to, maybe 6 months or a year down the line. Thank you for watching this video, folks. If you liked it, you know what to do. Destroy the thumbs up button and definitely hit subscribe. The button is here this time. I checked. And furthermore, if you want to see what things I do behind the scenes, some inside looks into Techitron, and even what I do outside of Techitron, definitely check out my social media things, my Snapchat, my Facebook page. They're all linked in the description below. And furthermore, again, as I said many times before, if you have any comments, definitely leave them in the description below. I read everything, and I mean everything. So if you have a question, I will try my best to answer that. This has been Alvi from Techitron, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Plane. I realized I'm not funny, so I just make do with creepy. Yeah. Dead mosquito.